Good afternoon. Glad you all are here. Thanks for being here today. My name is Robert Juvenetti, Senior Associate Athletics Director at Texas Tech for External Operations, and on behalf of the Athletic Department, I'd like to welcome you all here today for a really exciting day. Glad we could be here. Media, there'll be no questions from the speakers up here. We'll do a little scrum over here after all the speakers are done. So we'll get that started. Without further ado, let's get started. I've been around this program a long time. I'm an old guy, gray hairs. I've been a student, fan. Now I'm working here in the Athletic Department. I've never seen the kind of excitement that we're seeing around Texas Tech football and Texas Tech athletics that we're seeing right now, and it's a fun time to be a part of it. I think in any great organization there are significant turning points, and we saw one of those a couple months ago when Regent Womble donated to the Dustin R. Womble Football Training Center. We saw one with the naming of our new coach, and I think today is another one. We said when the Regent Womble gift was announced, hey, Texas Tech won today. I think we'll say that when we hit our heads on the pillow tonight. The Texas Tech won today. It's a great day. Before we get started, I do want to recognize some of our guests. Mayor Pope is here in attendance somewhere. Mayor Dan Pope. Mayor Pro Tem Steve Massengale is hiding in the back somewhere. There he is. Chancellor Ted Mitchell right up here in the front. Chairman Michael Lewis is here in the front row here. Vice Chair Mark Griffin is here in the front. Regent Dusty Womble here in the front. And then Regent Cody Campbell, who we'll be hearing from later on this afternoon, is sitting here in the front as well. So, yeah, thanks all for being here. So we're excited, a lot of winning, a lot of momentum. A guy who knows a lot about winning, we're going to bring him up here. I'm not sure what he has for breakfast, but he's constant energy, constant on the go. He's won wherever he's gone. He hadn't sat still since he's been here, on his phone, recruiting, doing all the great things. Excited about what he's going to bring to this program. So please join us in welcoming our new football coach, Joey Mcguire.
How we doing, Red Raiders? Andrea helped me a little bit with these notes, and I was like looking at it, and I didn't see anything with Raider power. And like, we've got such an amazing day today that we got to start it off that way, right? Someone move away from this, and we'll start off. Raider! Power! That was soft. Raider! Power! Raider! Power! Jonathan, I'm worried about you. You weren't fired up right there. Aren't you the money guy? We're here for a reason, bro. Okay, all right. Let me tell you, everywhere I've been going over the last 2 weeks, Red Raider Nation is so fired up. I mean, we were talking about it at lunch of like what has surprised me, and I knew this fan base was just so incredible, but what has surprised me is how they are just on fire right now. And it's not for football, for our basketball team, you know, all of our sports. And so excited about that, and we're building so much momentum. And right now, college football is probably as crazy as it's ever been, and I promise you this, the momentum that we are building is going to make sure that we come out on top. I had a reporter ask me the other day, he was kind of digging in to try to see who we were going to be on our staff and everything, and I told him this, I said, when the dust settles after the first signing day and in January where everybody's hired, the Red Raiders are going to look really good. We're going to look really good. And I think today is going to help us keep that momentum going and really make us look the way we're supposed to be on top. First, I want to thank Dusty for a couple of reasons. One, for welcoming me and my wife into your family. And thank you so much for what you've done for this university and this program, this football program, and everything that we're doing athletically. I really appreciate it. And then Cody, I can't thank you enough for doing the same thing. I mean, from day one with both of y'all, being on the committee, y'all have made me feel like $1 million, and I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you for all the donors that have helped us to this point. I really think whenever we leave here today and I get back on the road, we've got about 13 or 14 families coming in, and when they hear this news, I think that it is going to help us in recruiting. It's going to help this community, and it's going to lead us into a place that we want to go, that we're supposed to be, and this is only going to be the stepping stone. Thank you so much, Cody, for what you're doing today. Thank you so much for your family. Love seeing your parents here. That fires me up. Mom in red and black. It's exciting. I just appreciate y'all so much. I cannot wait to see everybody at the bowl game, and I cannot wait to fill this place up next year and let the nation see what this football team is going to look like. Thank y'all very much.
Since President Juvenetti became president of Texas Tech in 2016, we've seen record levels of enrollment, student retention, graduation rates, degrees, and research expenditures. I don't know why he's laughing now, but he's laughing. And he's on his way up here. So the momentum's not just limited, President Juvenetti, to athletics. President Lawrence Juvenetti.
Gio, thank you for that heartfelt introduction. And one other thing. Don't ever make me follow Coach Mcguire again. It's hard. Well, good afternoon, and I want to thank all of you for being here today. Not long ago, we gathered to celebrate a wonderful gift from Dusty Womble that made possible the new football training facility. And today, that momentum for our football program is continued in a very significant way by a historic and lead gift provided by the generosity of Cody Campbell. Cody, to you and Tara, thank you. I imagine when many of you look at Cody, you see a regent. Some might see a former football player. Some might see a former NFL player. But what I see is a National Merit finalist. Cody was a superb student, and you see where that can take you in life. Throughout its 100 years, Texas Tech has followed a very steady path of progress. But there are singular events, like that's what we celebrate today, that dramatically accelerate the progress and the trajectory of a university. What distinguishes one great university from other institutions are gifts from extraordinary people, people who provide more than financial support, but their wisdom, their passion, and their leadership. And you can see that across our campus. The Edward Whittaker College of Engineering, Jerry S. Rawls College of Business, the J.T. and Margaret Talkington College of Visual and Performing Arts. And today, we celebrate in another way a very significant event that accelerates the reputation and the brand of Texas Tech. And for that, Cody, you have our sincerest gratitude and admiration. Texas Tech athletics contributes to the brand and reputation of Texas Tech in a very significant way. It matters to our fans, our student athletes, our coaches, and our alumni. And thank you, Cody, for advancing, and Tara, the reputation and the brand of this university, for your leadership on a continuous basis. We're very grateful.
Good afternoon, and as President Juvenetti said, I also say welcome. Thank all of you for being here today for this very special celebration. The incredible energy and enthusiasm that has surrounded our football program for the past month has been exciting for all of us. I think back to October 8th, as has been referenced, that's when we celebrated the naming gift, lead gift to the Womble Football Center. That was a monumental day, and Dusty, thank you and your family for all that y'all have done and continue to do for us. Dusty, can we ask you to stand and just let us recognize you for your continued leadership to Texas Tech football? I think back to Coach Mcguire's opening press conference and what has transpired since then, the enthusiasm, the energy that has just filtered through this entire community and through this entire university. It's been energizing, just the breath of energy and life that you've brought into this program. Coach Mcguire, thank you, and look forward to everything that lies ahead. And there's some great things that are coming for this football program. The team, you can't talk about Texas Tech football over the last month without talking about the young men that strap on those pads and the way they've gone up against top 25 programs week after week after week, and the tenacity and the energy that they've brought and the way that they've represented this university. I couldn't be more proud of a group of young men who have faced so much adversity and the fight that they have brought over the past month, and just appreciate each and every one of those young men in that locker room. And now today, we celebrate another great Red Raider, a former player that is stepping forward in a program-changing way again and doing something really special. And I think today leaves no doubt, zero doubt whatsoever, that Texas Tech football is going to have every resource and every investment that it needs to be successful. And we just had lunch, and Cody and Dusty and I were on the end of a table, and we were talking about things that are going to change in the coming years. And the Big 12 Conference is going to evolve. The college football playoff is going to evolve. And you know what? It is our goal, is our plan to be a part of that evolving landscape and to be at the top of the Big 12 Conference and to be relevant nationally and to be a participant in the college football playoff. We're not going to back away. We're not going to shy away from those expectations. And yet again, as we're going to celebrate today, our donors and our supporters, the Red Raider Nation continues to step forward in very special ways to provide our programs and our athletes with first-class facilities. And we've seen the Womble Basketball Center, the Cash Family Nutrition Center, the Gary Peterson Football Field inside the Sports Performance Center, the Whitaker Center for Athletic Administration, and so many more facilities that just so many special Red Raiders and donors have contributed to make the excitement and the energy around our athletics program at an all-time high. But make no mistake about it, there is something very special about college football. We all enjoy the pageantry that is associated with the great game. If it's concerts at Raider Alley that we experienced this year, which were terrific, to the masked rider leading the field through the smoke and onto the field, or if it's the going band that connects Red Raiders from generation to generation, college football is very special, and nowhere is it celebrated any better than it is here at Texas Tech. But the love of the game of college football goes even deeper for the young men and the older men that have been in the locker room and played the game. Those that strap up the chin strap on Saturday afternoons. Those that are in the locker room putting their thigh pads and their knee pads in their pants every day to go to practice. Well, Cody and I were standing on the sideline in Waco. Some of us, back when we played, put thigh pads in. Kids today, they don't always wear the thigh pads, and we had a long conversation about that. But those memories and those moments form a very special brotherhood within a locker room and within college football. And they form relationships that last a lifetime. And those relationships are built on competition and a bond and a love for one another that comes from playing the game of college football that physically and mentally challenges you in a way that no other sport can. And then that association with the game of football as a former player, it's something you carry with you forever. And Cody and I have had a lot of talks about the game of college football and those memories and what it means to you. And it's a passion that lives within most former college football players that you just can't describe. And today is special for a lot of reasons, but it's a day that we celebrate and we take step forward yet again with a former player who has achieved incredible success in business and in football. A former player whose passion and commitment and love for Texas Tech football is as strong today as it's ever been. And that same burning drive for his alma mater, for his team, for his program to succeed is that same level of drive and determination that he's had in business. And it's a drive to win just like he has had in business. And make no mistake about it, let me say it again, it is a drive and a passion to win. And that's what we want. And that's what we're determined to make sure that we provide this athletics program, this football program, and this football team every resource to be successful. And so today we celebrate Cody Campbell stepping forward with a $25 million donation that allows us to move forward with the planning and the development of the south end zone at what now will be named Jones AT&T Stadium and Cody Campbell Field. As we celebrate this day at Jones AT&T Stadium and Cody Campbell Field, please join me in welcoming a great Red Raider, Cody Campbell.
Thanks, Kirby. I appreciate the nice words. Today's a really proud day for me. This is extremely meaningful. As Kirby mentioned, when I look back at my life and I think about the things that for me, obviously, I had a great family, but then coming here and the lessons that I learned, the way I developed as a person, work ethic, toughness, has benefited me tremendously in my personal life, with my family, and in my business life, and I use those lessons every single day. And so I want to give back because it was so big for me. And then in addition to that, I have this great family history here. My great-grandfather was in the first class at Texas Tech, was on one of the first football teams. My dad played football here. My brother played baseball here, and I played here. And so it's just, this place, grew up a Red Raider, and, I've always followed it. And so I've always wanted to do everything I can to help it. And then as Kirby mentioned, when you're a player, and a player at Texas Tech, you become a part of a very special fraternity. And, those guys are my brothers. It's not only guys that I played with, but the guys that played before me and the ones that play now and will play in years to come. And, my eligibility is exhausted, and so is my body. But, I'm just proud that I'll be out there on the field with them still. And so that's why, having the field name for me was a very meaningful thing. I also want to say that I'm really proud to partner with the folks that have built this place and the donors who have given so much. And, this is a large gift, but there are many others who have given more over time, Dusty Womble being one of them. And I'm just proud to partner with him and the others who are doing everything else they can. Hopefully I can catch up with all of them. I have a few years on you, Dusty, maybe, to get there, and I hope I can. But, I think the last thing I'd like to say is just, how I came to the decision to do this. And when I first started to make some money, a really smart guy set me down. He said, when you're thinking about charitable giving, you need to think about it like a business deal, like an investment. You need to evaluate it and look at it and say, if I give this money to you, do you think, is it going to yield a return? Is it going to be successful? And so I took a look at the Texas Tech football program, and I think, now is a really pivotal time, and it really is, like Kirby said, a turning point. I look at the commitment that the administration now has to this program. There's a commitment to funding it operational budget. There's a commitment to these facilities that we're actually going to get these facilities done. With my gift and with Dusty's gift, we're going to build the FTF, and we're going to build the South End Zone. We're moving forward on them. There are a bunch of other donors that are on board. We hired Coach Mcguire, and I could not be any more excited about what you're doing, Coach. I mean, the planning laid out, the strategy, and then the execution we've seen so far. And this place is going somewhere. And so this money that I'm giving isn't going to be just, money that goes somewhere that never yields a return. This money is going to be leveraged because the things that we've done here are right. The administration's thinking about it the right way. The support is there. The board supports it. Everybody's behind this program. Everybody knows how important it is, and this is a true turning point for us. So anyway, once again, I'm just really proud. Honestly, I'm humbled, and just really appreciate you all being here, and thank you very much. Guns up.
So if you guys aren't on the train, you need to get on the train today. Season tickets went on sale this week. If you're watching on the stream, go online to texastech.com. We made it very easy for you. If you're here and you haven't done it, you can stop at the ticket office. You can call. We'll make it easy for you to get your tickets and bring your friends. Get on the train. Before we're finished, it'd be remiss if we didn't mention the fact in this very room 2 nights ago, we've talked a lot about facilities today for a good reason, but 33 of our student athletes came across this area up here to meet with Kirby, and they'll be graduating in a week and part of the December 2021 graduation ceremony. And so they wouldn't have been able to do that without you, our donors, our Red Raider Club donors, our season ticket holders. Every gift matters, and it affects our student athletes, and I was proud to see those 33 here on the other night. So thank you again for being here. Media, if you come up here, we'll do Q&As with Regent Campbell, with President Juvenetti, with Kirby, and Regent Womble if he wants to. And love this place, wreck 'em, and have a great holiday season. Hey, don't forget, too, there are refreshments on both sides. If you want to get some, please stop and get some refreshments before you leave.
I think that we have sort of a critical mass of donors who are willing to get behind the program. And I feel like where we are with conference realignment stuff is actually tremendously beneficial to us in terms of trying to make the playoffs. So I think that I think we're in a place where we can really take off from here. And, that's an honest opinion I have. And again, why I was wanting to make the investment is just because I think that this is a place that things are really happening.
Have the film named after you. I know it's for everything that's happened since you graduated. You kind of like to think, it's named after you for your later on.
Well, I was a pretty good player, but not good enough to have my name up in the stadium. I'm proud that I got it up there for some reason, because this is a special place to me, and it's my family, and so I'm really proud that it's there.
Is that part of it too, Cody? The fact that, like you said, your grandfather. I mean, people have played. Your name isn't the only one, but your family has been part of this program.
Yeah, exactly, and I'm proud that my kids will be able to see it, and I'm proud that it represents my family out there. I have a son that I hope he plays here someday. And so anyway, it is the family aspect of it is very important to me in the community, and what it does for Lubbock and what it does for West Texas. I hope it's helpful and impactful and it's meaningful to people.
With this $25 million gift, obviously you've got some ideas of what you want the South End Zone to be. Can you describe those for us?
You know, we're kind of trying to figure out functionally what it's going to do, and there are a lot of creative things we can do. One thing I know for sure is that we're going to have a double T scoreboard in some form down there. I think that's really important. It's kind of the signature of the stadium, and so it'll be integrated in some way. But beyond that, we need recruiting space. We may do some more suites. It can be kind of a gathering place for students, the band, those types of things. But I think there are a lot of cool things we'll be able to do with it. It'll be well funded and well done. It'll be first class. Hey, Don.
Will it be that double T scoreboard, or will it be a double T scoreboard just kind of?
I think it'll have to be a new one. I think it'll be tough to even work around that thing because it's just a block of concrete basically. So.
Cody, how shows your appreciation for the history of the program?
Oh, absolutely. I know it not quite as well as you do, but better than most, I would say. And so yeah, that thing's got to be there, or something like it's got to be there.
Cody, kind of along those lines, do you know a timeline, I guess, for any of this, or I guess?
Well, I think it's all going to depend just on the physical limitations and with respect to construction. So we're doing the FTF, and that's the one that's going to kick off first. But this one's going to happen in conjunction with that somehow, or in sequence. We're going to do it as quickly as we possibly can.
What's the total amount that y'all are projecting that the building will cost?
I don't even think we know that yet. I think we're gonna sort of plan around a budget rather than budgeting around a plan. I think is the idea. And so there are several other donors that are working on fairly large gifts right now, and so we're gonna kind of gathering those up and finalizing them, and then we'll sort of go in. But hiring architects right now, doing all that kind of work, and in the new Red Raiders Facilities Foundation, which is going to be a great help in getting this thing done quickly and on budget and all those things. So anyway, it's going to be top notch. The types of numbers we're talking about are substantial and are going to do something there that's really going to complete the stadium. It'll be something proud of.
Hey, Cody, going back to the coach search committee, can you kind of break down, obviously you played a big role, but can you break down some of your duties and what you did?
Yeah, so we had a list of coaches and assembled a list of coaches, evaluated a bunch of names, over 30, and then once we had kind of narrowed those down to candidates we were interested in, we talked to them, screened them, and then went and visited a bunch of them, interviewed 8 or 9 people, and Coach Mcguire clearly stuck out among all of them in terms of his fit at Texas Tech, and he just has the it factor, and it's a hard thing to sort of measure. It's a hard thing to explain, but I think everybody in the Red Raider Nation are seeing it now. The guy's got it, and he's going to do great things here, and I couldn't be more happy with how that hiring committee process worked out. And, we got our guy.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Cody.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Hey, Don. I will buy you Taco Casa for a week if you stand right here. Right here. Right here. I'm being 100% honest.
Hey, you're the one who kicked me out.
No, I told you to come back. Yeah, I did. You just didn't hear me because I can't hear anything in here either.
What?
I did say come back.
Collier, did you say something?
You two guys not getting along.
No, I love
bothers
Don.
me.
He told me that his camera was moving in, so
No,
I
I
had to
didn't.
find some
I
place
said
to put
their
your
camera,
stand.
not mine.
All right, try to. Coach McGuire's about to be here. Try to speak up best you can.
Don't worry, we can't hear either.
What?
This is just one enchilada each. Not like
Right. Back at it.
Sure, already.
Maybe we have questions for you.
Oh, we have questions. We're just
All right.
being polite for the camera.
I got you. huge. Going into houses this last week, we got to go open back up Sunday. And the one thing I've challenged all of the parents and players I've talked to is when coaches come in, usually they're given some kind of sales job, like why you should do this. And there's some guys that they're almost like, not in a bad way, that I don't want to run any car salesman down, but they're almost like selling something maybe that is not there. This allows us to, like I ask them, make them prove it. Show it in black and white. This is who we are. This is what we do. And this just gives us something else to where this is who we are. We have some serious backing behind this program and a lot of momentum. So this was huge today.
I assume you heard about this plan during the interview process, right? When you were interviewing for the job?
Well, they were talking about it. I know that Reggie Campbell was very serious about getting behind what Kirby and the administration, their vision was, and so I really believe whenever he was talking through it that he was going to come through, and you saw it today how much he loves this university and this program. Well, we're really honestly trying to, one of our first phases of off-season will be controlled chaos. And so right now, college football is very chaotic, and we're going to try to take advantage of it. And this only helps us in our plans right now and the coaches on the road. This only gives us more ammunition to kind of control that chaos.
Since you're here, you mentioned the coaches on the road. Can you speak to the few hires that you guys have had over the last few days?
Well, I can't wait for all the fans to meet them, and we get a chance to introduce them officially, face to face. I think they're going to love the passion. I mean, I think you'll see that with the guys that we come in. But Kenny Perry, my special teams coordinator, he's another Texas high school coach. He was a head coach at 3 different places, played Texas high school football. Josh Bookbinder, he was with me at Baylor, played Texas high school football. I think you see those 2 guys right there coming in. We kept Coach Smith. I'm so excited to get to work with him, and just seeing the way the running backs talked about him and how much they cared about him really showed me that I needed to invest as much time as I could to get that hire right, and keeping him was huge. And then bringing some guys home, Quentin Jordan, he's going to be my director of football operations. He's a Red Raider. He worked in the ticket office. He worked in academics whenever he was here going to grad school. So really excited about bringing him here.
I noticed the tweet with your son. Did you just give him a pullover, or is he here to stay?
No, he's on a bye week. I've asked him to be a Red Raider, and so we'll see. We'll see how good a recruiter his mom is. And so, no, Zane hooked him up. I wanted to make sure, and he wanted to get in red and black as soon as possible because, he loves the red and black whenever he's going to high school, and now he's in it in Texas Tech.
How happy are you for Sonny? Obviously, you want to keep him around, but for him to get his first head coaching opportunity.
When he told me, when he was interviewing, I said, I know the AD. As soon as he left my office, I texted the AD, and I said, you would be crazy not to hire this guy. He is an absolute stud. And whenever he called me, he said, Joey, what do you think? And I said, I kicked myself for 2 years for not doing what you should do and take this job. There's not enough to where you can turn down such a quality university that he's going to. And I think it was a slam dunk hire for La Tech.
So who's on your ideas of what would be the perfect offensive coordinator now that Sonny's gone?
Guy that can score a lot of points. There's going to be some similarities. Just watching and being a part and listening to Sonny, there'll be some similarities, but we're in a good spot. I feel comfortable that at least myself and Kirby will know Sunday night, and I expect Monday or Tuesday that our offensive staff will be complete.
What about your
Defensive staff in a good spot. We got 2 really. Kenny Perry's kind of my swing guy. He's coached outside linebackers. He's coached inside receivers. He's coached corners at the college level. So he's my swing guy. But Book, Coach Bookbinder, he'll be coaching safeties, but he's also coached linebackers. I feel good about where we'll be Sunday. We just won't have that staff complete, that side of the ball complete yet.
Coach, what's been the response? You have been on the trail going to a bunch of high schools. What's been the response from those coaches now that you're kind of seeing them as the head coach at Texas Tech?
Well, they're fired up. You know, I'm one of them, and I'm proud to be one of them. And so they're extremely excited. One thing at lunch, too, they were asking, like, what's surprising? It's really cool how many Texas high school coaches are Texas Tech alumni. Like, I've gone into a lot of schools, and, I mean, as soon as I walked in, and I had no idea, you know, they probably didn't know where I graduated from. So they're really excited, and I think will help us. You know, if nothing else, I mean, the kids have to decide, but the coaches are going to go, what Coach Mcguire and his staff, what they say, that's what they're going to do. And so that helps in the recruiting with the moms and dads and the players.
How hard is it for you and Kenny Perry go back? So I remember back in the day, you were in Cedarville and he was in Louis. They all pretty tight.
Really tight. We've been best friends for a long time. You know, I followed his career, and whenever he was at Arlington, Sam Houston, he turned that program around. I think he's the only, well, maybe at Bowie, he's the only coach to go to the playoffs three straight years, but all three programs he was in was probably their winningest time. Going to the playoffs multiple years. We've only played twice, and after that, it was too stressful, so we stopped playing each other.
What was the result of those games?
I won big the first time, and he beat me at the end the second time, so we stopped after that.
We've got time for a couple more.
What time's your day started and what time's your day ended here in the last week or two?
Well, I flew out of here Tuesday because I did some stuff locally at 5 a.m. and was in at high school as soon as I landed. I was they had a morning workout, so I was there at about 6:45 and ready to roll. And then it kind of ends when I crash, and I don't crash a lot, so you know it could be 12:30, 1 o'clock, back up at it again. A lot of coffee.
Talk about the advantages that you've had not having to coach these last couple of weeks, being able to see the team as you have and fill the holes that you need.
I think has been a really good, unique advantage from the standpoint of spending as much time as we have recruiting, and then being able to see it more from a different angle instead of right in the middle of the game. Now, my choice would be being down on the grass with a team anytime. That's extremely hard to do, not to be around the players, and getting during bowl practices, going to be able to be around them a lot more. But we're taking advantage. I think you see where we are. We're taking full advantage of being on the road as fast as we can.
How involved are you going to be with the practices throughout?
I think the biggest part of that is going to be getting to know the players in a different way. You know, they've been in the office and seeing like their personality, but practice habits are really big for me. So I want to see that. I want to see in person like how they respond to any adversity, any success on the field. You know, I still believe there's a plan to win, and the number one way of that is don't beat yourself. And so there's non-football things that go on in practice that we want to make sure that I see, identify, and go get them to understand. Difference between having fun. I want to have fun, but there's non-football things that are going to hurt us instead of help us, and I want to see that, you know, up close.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet. Thank y'all. Good to see y'all. It's great to see you.
following the coach,
again.
He was just here.
Oh, okay.
You are following him again.
I'm also deaf. Some say deaf, dumb, and blind. Yeah.
Not in this group.
Can I? No questions about the double T.
Say what?
So what's going to happen to the double team?
We understand that is a significant issue with a lot of our fans, and we'll put a lot of thought in how we deal with that. But I think you could all imagine that the new end zone, that south end zone is going to require some changes. But our history and our tradition is important, so we'll have to.
Would you put it in another section of the facility?
I don't think we've gotten that far into discussions, but we want to retain the emotional value of that double team. It matters to people.
What does this gift mean for the university?
Well, these gifts really change universities in ways that accelerate our progress, our trajectory. It puts us on the map that says Texas Tech can compete at any level on any field in terms of facilities or programs. It says a lot about the stature, but it also says a lot about the support we have from alumni. That's really important. We are so blessed to have so many people who will commit to this university, not only financially, but in terms of their passion, their day-to-day involvement. It's a great moment for Red Raiders.
The final number for this hasn't been set yet because you guys are still working on some things, but how do you envision the south end zone at this point?
So they'll be starting on the football training facility, and as you probably are aware, these athletic construction projects will be managed through a new 501c3 that was just announced a couple days ago. It's a new approach we're taking to accelerate the construction process, to do it more efficiently. As they begin on the FTF, planning and design will be going on for the south end zone. And then about the time that's finished, they'll be in construction over here. So it's a large project between the two of them.
Is there an ideal finish date?
I couldn't say. I think they're going to start on demolition on the FTF in February. And that's probably going to take a couple years, 18 months to 2 years. And so about that time, they'll be starting on the south end zone. I think you're looking at a 3 to 4 year time frame here.
With all the big donations we went from today and Womble here a few weeks ago, looking at student athletes, how is this going to help them be successful coming out of college?
Well, the FTF will have a direct bearing on the daily experience of athletes. That's where they're going to be training. So this, in some ways, it affects them in a very real and daily ways. In a higher sense, it adds to our ability to recruit. And also, I think it generates a sense of pride. Not only for the players that are down there on the field, but for the fans. I mean, we're going to have as beautiful and nice football facility here as anywhere in the nation. And this is what many people across the nation will see. And I think it's a great marketing tool for Texas Tech in that regard. Okay.
Thanks, President Scoobit. Cam, we get you? No? Okay. He always is. He's a lot more entertaining when you don't have a microphone. No, he's great when you're not talking to him with a microphone in his face. Oh yeah, I forgot about her. You just said her.
Now, this is where you make your chiladas right here.
No. This is where you can earn the gravy for the chicken fried steak.
But there's no
Kirby, what's the ideal budget or expectation for what the budget will be for this project? Dollar figure?
That's not a question we can answer yet. You know, we announced yesterday the formation of Red Raiders Facility Foundation, and so it'll be through that entity that we construct the Womble Football Center as well as the South End Zone project. I know that the Red Raider Facility Foundation board members are going to be interviewing architects for both of those projects in the coming weeks. So, you know, we'll get an architect on board, and then from there we'll go with design, and we'll start with the Womble Football Center, and then we'll go directly into the South End Zone project. So, you know, trying to anticipate what the total project cost would be purely a guess at this point in time.
What about the timeline? What's your ideal goal for the timeline?
Yeah, you know, we've got the resources that we've announced recently, some others that we believe will, also commit to these two projects that we're going to be able to move forward in a really expeditious manner. In a perfect world, we would take the first 3 months of 2022 and finish the design process for the Womble Football Center, and then as we lock in that design before demolition and construction, we would then move our attention to the design process for the South End Zone. So if you stay with the Womble Football Center, if things go as I anticipate they could go today, then design would be January through March or April. Demolition is probably a 4 to 6 week process, and then it's probably a 12 to 14 month process, which would allow us to move back into the Womble Football Center prior to the 23 season, at which then we would start the construction on the South End Zone. So a lot of moving pieces, a lot of moving parts, but as I think through the timeline, that would be the ideal scenario.
You said on the day of the Womble announcement, you said that you had $28 to $30 million in commitments for it and expected to have it fully funded by end of the year. How much have y'all added since then?
Yeah, we're continuing to work on that daily. We're approximately $35, $36 million in commitments today, and very optimistic that we're going to continue to have interest and commitments to that project. And we have a month left to meet that goal, so we're going to continue to pursue it very, very proactively.
Let's see, that goal, the target goal amount is?
Yeah, again, without the exact design and plans, we don't know, but I'm going to guess that's approximately a $45 to $50 million project. And as we get into the design over the next few months, we'll know more exactly.
With this plan now moving, what does it do for the other sports like baseball specifically and their renovations?
Yeah, it doesn't change that. Baseball, we had our first baseball construction planning meeting today. That project will begin in January 2022. So in 30 days, you'll see construction begin for the new clubhouse at Stanlaw Field, Rip Griffin Park.
We've talked before about being landlocked and not having. Are you looking to go further up, and rather than going? You can't go out.
No, you're right. Well, the Womble Football Center will be a 2-story facility. And then as we look to the South End Zone, I'd like to be really creative. We had an opportunity over the course of the season to see what they did at the University of Texas with their end zone project. There's some ideas and thoughts that we have there that I think could be really cutting edge, that we could continue to take ideas we saw and shape them to what we believe our needs are and how it would benefit our program. We had a chance to go through and look at some things that Baylor did at their football stadium this past weekend. Next week, Regent Womble, myself, and a couple of others are going to have a chance to go to the University of South Carolina. We're going to go to the University of Georgia and the University of Alabama and look at recent football facilities. So we're going to continue to gather as many ideas as we can to be as creative with the South End Zone space as we can be. And I think there are opportunities for us to consider field level opportunities, premium seating opportunities, and I'd like to think of a way that we could be cutting edge for our students in that space as well. Exactly what that is, I'm not certain yet, but we're going to continue to get creative minds around the table to think.
So what's your vision for the next incarnation of the double T scoreboard?
Well,
Cody has said there will be one, and Lawrence said it's too valuable not to have a double T.
yeah, we have agreed that, you know, we've got to continue to honor that double T scoreboard in the end zone. Exactly what that looks like and feels like, we're not certain yet, but even with Chris Huckabee leading the Red Raider Facility Foundation, he said the only way that I will chair this foundation for you and lead these projects for you is if the double T remains a part of that South End Zone project. So with his ask there and our guarantee that that would be the case with the way that, you know, Regent Campbell feels about that, the double T will continue to be a part of that South End Zone project. How exactly it looks or its placement is still to be determined.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank y'all for being here. All right, Don. See ya. Big game for the Cowboys tonight.
It shouldn't be.
Yeah, it shouldn't be.
Slightly just saying,
Your hair started to drift into the shot.
What's that,
I'll
Dave?
move slightly.
Don was hiding or blocking
I
your
was actually lurched over here in front
head,
of this
like leaned
camera.
into my shot.
But if I lean this way, does that mean Carlos?